There are times when it's not practical to create the pinout of a cable manually, such as when working on a cable assembly with a large number of conductors. In these cases, we highly recommend using the CSV import feature in the cable design tool. To use this feature, we first need to have the basics of the cable assembly in place, such as selected connectors, the right wires, and a linked path. Once we have that, we can open the pinout view where the CSV import function is located. To open the pinout view, select the path you want to work on and click the crossing arrows icon. Once you're in the pinout view, it's good practice to manually link one or a few pins first. This way, you can export a correctly formatted CSV file, which makes it easy to edit externally and import back into the cable design tool. Now that we've connected a few pins, we can export a properly formatted CSV file. To do so, just click the Export CSV button located at the top of the pinout table. Now that we've opened the exported CSV file with the linked pins, we can edit it as needed. Just like in the pinout view, column A is where the pin names for the left side connector are listed. Column B lists the actual pin numbers for the left side connector. Since we're working with the fourth path of a 200-pin connector, the numbering starts at 151. Column C usually lists pin numbers for the right side connector. However, since we're working with flying leads on the right side, the wire ends will always be numbered starting from 1, even if the cable has multiple paths with flying leads. It's important to emphasize that columns B and C define which pins from the left side connector are linked to which flying leads on the right side. Finally, column D is used here to name the corresponding flying leads on the right side. Filling in these names is especially useful if you choose to have them printed on the heat shrink at the wire ends during manufacturing. Now that we've edited and saved our CSV file, we're ready to import it into the cable design tool. Before importing, just make sure to unlink all wires. To import the CSV file, click the CSV import button and select your file. Our pinout has been successfully imported. To save these changes, click Apply Changes in the top right corner. Before we wrap up, it's important to know that there are a few different ways to format the CSV file, not just for single wires, but especially for twisted pairs. So let's quickly go over some examples. Compared to the previous example, here we're simply defining which pin on the left side connector is linked to which flying leads on the right, without assigning any names. Alright, let's go ahead and import our CSV file. As you can see, the pins are linked without any names assigned. If you'd like to manually add pin names or make further changes to the pinout, you can certainly do so. Finally, let's take a look at how to format a CSV file for twisted pair wires. Just like in the previous example, we'll start by linking the first pair so we can export a properly formatted CSV file. For context, in this example, we're using a 50-core twisted pair cable from 3M, where each row represents one twisted pair. The first wire in the pair, black with red stripes, links pin 1 on the right side connector to pin 1 on the left. The second wire, red with black stripes, links pin 49 on the right to pin 49 on the left. Now let's export the CSV file and see how the data is structured. You'll notice that the CSV structure closely mirrors the pinout table, with each twisted pair split into two sections, wire A and wire B, and a blank column in between that must be left empty. Here's an example of a properly filled-in CSV file. Alternatively, if you don't want to assign pin names, you can simplify the table this way. And finally, here's an example with pin names filled in. Now that you know everything about CSV importing, you can create pinouts faster and minimize the chance of errors.